So at this point, the majority of the players who have been playing since day 1 are probably around level 40 more or less. So today we'll go over the different things that you should be focusing on, and also go over the things that I'm doing on my account to optimize my progress as a free-to-play. Starting things off, let's talk about the characters. You would always want to prioritize getting your main 4 characters to the highest level, because your relics will actually scale based on your character stats. So it's important that you get as many levels in your character as well as their light cone. And speaking of characters, if you still haven't decided which ones to upgrade first, Natasha and the main character are your best free-to-play options. We currently only have 2 healers in the game, so Natasha is a no-brainer. And even if you were able to get Bailu, I would still recommend that you prioritize Natasha, because according to the players who have spent money to progress faster, there are actually more content where you need the cleansing effect from Natasha, especially in the more difficult stages. And next up, you should also prioritize the fire main character because you almost always need a shielder for your team. And not unless you already have Jeopard, the fire main character will be your best option. As for the other 2 characters in your team, I recommend that you go for 2 DPS characters, but there's a few things that you need to keep in mind. Obviously, if you have top tier DPS characters like Sila or Yanqing, you can upgrade those characters with no problem. But if you don't have those characters, the simulated universe can be a good reference. When I was still trying to complete World 6, I upgraded the characters that I thought were good for that specific challenge. During that time, I have already upgraded the Fire MC and Natasha because they were the core members of my team. And then I invested more resources on Asta and Serval because I needed to weakness break Kokolya more consistently. So generally, just go for the units that will help you push the current barrier you're facing. And depending on whether you pre-farm the materials before you hit Trailbase 40, it should only take you about a week to level your characters and light cones to 60, along with the upgrades on their traces. And speaking of traces, make sure that you only upgrade the ones that you really need. It will take me forever to go over every single character's abilities and their recommended upgrades, so I will just put a link in the description below to a very useful page where you can see a bunch of guides for the upgrade priorities for each character in the game. So after you take care of the guaranteed upgrades, the next objective on the list is praying to RNGesus and start farming relics. You can farm the specific set for your main DPS and that should work just fine. But in my opinion, you have 2 really good options if you want to be more energy efficient. The first one is the Cavern of Corrosion, Path of Drifting. This one will drop the Wandering Cloud set, which is the best relic set for Natasha and Bailu. You can go for a 4-piece set with a focus on HP main stats, and maybe healing bonus on the chest piece. Aside from the healer set, you can also get the Musketeer of Wildbeast set, which is really good for any DPS character. The second cavern that I recommend that you farm is the Path of Holy Hymn. This drops the Knight of Purity Palace set, and this set is really good for March 7, Jeopard, and the Fire MC. It increases the character's defense, and their shield scales off defense. Additionally, the 4-piece set increases the damage absorbed by the Shield the Taker 8. This is a really good set for at least 2 of your characters. The other set that you can get from this cavern is the Band of Sizzling Thunder. The 2-piece set increases the character's lightning damage by 10%, and the 4-piece set increases their attack by 20% after using a skill. Overall, this is a really good set for all the electric characters that we have except for Bailu. So you're looking at Serval, Arlan, and Ting Yuan. And if you are someone who's going to pull for Jingyawan or Kafka, this set is also the best one for them. Additionally, if you're wondering if you should be using your fuel right now, I really think that it's not a bad move to use it at this point in the game. You would rather want to use it now and actually progress further and have more playtime, rather than saving it later for relics, not even guaranteeing yourself a good piece. Moving on, let's talk about the other things that you can do after you use up your energy for the day. The first one is the daily farming route. I mentioned this before in my previous videos, but I'm repeating it because I think that it can be really useful depending on which type of player you are. If you have already reached level 40, the first thing that you probably noticed is that the upgrades are significantly more expensive. And that means that you need every bit of resource that you can get if you want to maximize your progress. What you can do is, you can farm all the enemies in the map because they give you ascension materials and a fair amount of credits. Of course, you don't have to feel like you have to do this because it does take about an hour to clear the whole map. So only do this if you have the time for it or you really want to play more. For the next one, you should always be checking the Shanzhou area for puzzles that respawn. I have cleared all the puzzles in every single zone, but maybe for some of you, you haven't cleared it yet. So every day, go ahead and check the last 4 areas in Shanzhou because you might be missing out on a few Stellar Jades and the currencies for the Fire MC's Eidolons. I expected that the sources for Stellar Jades would run out quite quickly. That's why I haven't pulled a single time. I'll be discussing the reasons why I haven't been doing so, but that will be for another video. With that being said, that's about everything I have for this video. If you want to know more about the daily routines in Honkai Star Rail, go ahead and check out this next video. As always, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.